Hello, my little unfinished symphonies. Last time we learned how to make gestures, short action poses. Today we're going to take that information and we're going to make proportionate figures. I'm going to ask that you make two foil figures. I want those two foil figures to be interacting in some activity. Here they are holding hands. I'll show you what you need, I'll show you how to do it, and then you'll make some yourself. You will need aluminum foil. If you're British, you'll need aluminium foil. And scissors. Now, you can color in the tin foil before. This is what that's going to look like. Of course, you can color it in after. Works just fine either way. So Sharpies will color the tin foil. You're going to need 3 pieces of foil. One which is about a square. Usually a roll of aluminum foil is about a foot wide, so it's about a foot by a foot. And then the other 2 are going to be approximately a foot by 6 inches, or a half a foot. So really you're going to need 2 square feet of tin foil to do this. Not too much, because we don't want to be wasting this stuff. It ain't cheap, unless you buy the cheap stuff, which I did. From those 3 pieces of tin foil, you're going to be making 2 tight cylinders and 1 loose. This one's actually loose and flat. To roll the limbs up tight, I recommend actually rolling it at first. That'll prevent anything from tearing in the earlier stages. Once you've actually rolled it, you crimp it tight. You don't want this one to be loose, because this one's going to get all bent. That's all there is to making the arms and the legs. The torso, you're going to loosely fold like 1.5 to 2 inches. I would say 1.5 over a bunch of times. Okay, so you're just making that. What we're going to do with those is we're going to take this one right here, and we're going to kind of fold it in half. Just lightly fold it in half right now. I'm going to take one of these. I recommend taking the longer one because you're bound to have one that's slightly longer than the other, and put it in the center, like so. From there, you're going to pinch that close, kind of tighten that up a little. What you're getting right here is the pelvis and the legs. You're going to bend these down. Those are going to become the legs. If they're not perfectly even, that's all right. We're going to snip them at the end. You're going to take this one, and you're going to go up a little ways, trying to remember how your human proportions are. Then, pinch that closed. The human body is 8 heads high. The first head, starting at the top, would be the head. And that sets the ratios for the rest of the body. Then you go down half a head, and that creates your neck. And your rib cage is 1 full head high. Notice it goes from halfway through 2 to halfway through 3. Then you have half a head where the gut is. The 4th head is the 1 head high pelvis. 5 and 6 is the femur. The femur is the longest bone in the human body. Then you go down 7, and then halfway through 8, and you have fibula and tibia. Those are the 2 lower leg bones. And then the bottom half is the foot. So remember that when you're working on your foil figure. You're going to have to pinch this super tight right here, though, because that's going to become a neck. I'm going to twist that around, actually, to hold it in place better. And then I can see my head's going to be too big. So I'm going to just trim off the top of that. And I'm just scrunching it down and shaping it. Maybe I made my torso too skinny. I could take another piece. And I folded this on itself a couple times. And I'm just going to wrap it around. It's going to provide strength and volume. What I do see here is I have some uneven things. That foot is uneven. Trim that right off. Arms, uneven and slightly too long. So I'm going to cut one and cut another. They should go down to the midpoint of your thigh. Bend up a little for the feet. Curl a little for the hands. That is a figure in proportion. He's a little skinny from the side. From the front, we have a proportionate human figure. I'm expecting you to take your 2 figures and put them into a recognizable pose or activity. Could I have them playing one-on-one against each other? Sure. Could I have them sword fighting like I had my action figures? Sure. Am I feeling that violent? No. Do I want them to dance? Yes, I do. Good thing about this is I just scrunch stuff together when I want it to stick. And it usually does. Tinfoil's pretty cooperative that way. Two figures dancing the night away. That's really all there is to it. Could I have added some marker to them? Absolutely. And there you have it. Two proportionate human figures interacting in some sort of activity together. The most important part is that these two figures be proportionate to themselves and that I recognize what the activity is they're engaged in. They don't have to be standing up. You can, to present them to me in your picture, lay them down on their sides, because getting them to stand up is tricky. I cheated here, and now they're attached to an elastic that's hanging from my lamp. They're not anymore. So, enjoy. It's tinfoil. You can do virtually anything with it, except put it in the microwave. But Michael, where will I go? Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.